What happens when a high-ranking political figure is murdered in his own home, bound, tortured, and executed, and decades later, no one knows why? On September 2nd, 1992, their son Jan walked into the couple's villa in Anin, a wealthy suburb of Warsaw, and found a gruesome scene. Piotr, 82, had been tied up with belts and electric cords and beaten to death in his study. Oddly, one of his hands had been left unbound, as if the killers needed his cooperation for something. His wife, Alicja, 72, was found in the bathroom, shot execution style in the back of the head. Her murder was especially violent. Blood evidence suggested she had wounded one of the attackers during a struggle. Even the family dog had been subdued with a sleeping agent. The house had signs of forced entry, but only Piotr's office was ransacked. Strangely, valuables were left untouched, except for a few stolen items. A couple of guns, some foreign currency, gold coins, and a watch. It didn't look like a typical burglary. It looked personal. It looked planned. Piotr wasn't just any retiree. He was once one of the most powerful men in communist Poland. A former prime minister from 1970 to 1980, he had strong ties to the Soviet Union and had been deeply involved in Cold War politics. After the fall of communism, he lost political protection and made enemies along the way. Rumors swirled that he was working on a memoir filled with explosive revelations about the communist regime and Soviet-Polish relations. Was someone trying to stop him from talking? Many believe this wasn't a robbery. It was a hit, a silencing. Piotr had insider knowledge from decades at the top of Poland's power structure. Some say he knew too much, and his murder was a warning to others who might expose Cold War secrets. The torture, the targeted ransacking of his office, and the execution-style killing suggest this was more than a break-in. It was deliberate, calculated, and chillingly efficient. Others think it was personal, revenge for political crimes. Piotr had been part of a system that oppressed thousands. After the regime fell, many political prisoners returned home with unresolved hatred. Could this have been payback from someone who had suffered under his rule? The excessive violence could point to rage, not strategy. But investigators never found a clear connection between any former dissidents and the crime. Authorities eventually arrested a group known as the Karate Gang, a criminal crew linked to a series of home invasions. In 2017, 3 men were charged in the Jaroszewicz murders, but the case against them collapsed. The evidence was thin. Fingerprints didn't match. Nothing tied them definitively to the killings. Critics argue that this robbery theory never made sense. Why torture an elderly man for hours just to take a few coins and a watch? Why not take the rest of the valuables? And why ransack only his office? Despite years of investigations, arrests, and trials, no one has been convicted of the murders. Files have mysteriously gone missing. Leads have dried up, and questions still hang in the air. Was there a cover-up? Was someone protecting the killers? In 2018, Polish authorities announced new forensic developments, but no major breakthroughs followed. The case remains officially unsolved, fueling even more speculation. If you found this case as chilling as we did, hit like and subscribe to Baffling Mysteries for more real-life enigmas and unsolved crimes. And tell us in the comments, what do you think really happened in that villa? History doesn't always give us answers, but it never stops asking questions.